Hello everybody and welcome. Today we are flying the 767 extended 300ER version from Seattle to Anchorage, Alaska, and it's wintertime. I'm using the TerraMaxx add-on for Xplane, which lets you basically set up seasonal textures, so you can fly in wintertime or autumn. Right now we are using the deep winter texture pack, so it's gonna be great. I think it's what's been missing from Xplane 11, the wintry feeling, but now we have that covered as well. So this is the 767 extended version. It has received the extended update a couple of months ago. Before the update, it was also one of the best pay-per aircraft that you can get for Xplane 11, but now it's even better. You could only fly the Pratt & Whitney engines, the Pratt & Whitney version of the 767-300. Now here with the extended update we get to fly the 300ER, 200 and freighter versions, and also lets you set up the Pratt & Whitney, General Electric or Rolls-Royce engines. Right now we are using the General Electric version. It has a couple of issues still. There are some problems with the sound. It's not continuous, and there's an when we change the altimeter setting, other than 2992, it says altitude disagree, but it's not the end of the world. I still love this aircraft. It's one of the best study level simulations. Alright, already taken care of the majority of the pre-flight stuff. You can see Air Traffic 3 doing its thing, putting two aircraft here in the same parking position, but we can overlook that. Alright, now this aircraft has an amazing level of detail. For example, we get to put on our oxygen masks. I also have this neat little tablet which lets you set up everything. There's also a nice checklist feature. Basically it's just a tutorial, or it includes a tutorial, an interactive one, how to set up this plane from cold and dark. Alright, now we are still waiting for the irises to align. Let's go ahead actually and start the APU and get rid of this stuff. No, airplane is already loaded up. Oh, fuel truck. Still need the ACU. Alright, we have APU power. Let's connect it and disconnect the external powers. And now we get to see the screens flicker, which just the little details that make flight simmers smile. Now let's go ahead and we need the APU bleed as well. Not the engine bleed, APU bleed. It's going to be a shorter video, around 20 to 30 minutes, mainly because my upload speed just sucks. But still, it's the flight is going to take around 3 hours and 50 minutes. But I'm gonna cut this video to shorter bits. Alright, now we are ready to set up our pushback using the better pushbacks. Wonderful little plugin. So we don't need to go that far.
Cockpit, plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
And we are ready.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up. Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect. Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Alright, now we can go ahead and release the parking brake and start the engines.
Starting pushback. And you may start engines.
Alright, so let's go with engine number 1. Let's monitor our N2. And we can go ahead and start. And number 2 starting.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Okay, so let's set the parking brake.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
And actually let's go and shut the APU off. PAX can set to auto. And engine bleeds. Here we can hear our fans kicking in. We have no messages here, so this looks good. Set the flaps to take off. It's going to be 15. And also auto brakes to RTO.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Fantastic. There's a hand signal. Now we can go ahead and taxi. We need to be careful taxiing because this plane speeds up quite fast even on idle. We don't really need the weather radar for now, but maybe a bit later. Right now it's beautiful weather. And TARA. Now with vert traffic it doesn't really make much sense. And let's set up weather here and terrain on the co-pilot side. Let's go to 20, oh, let's stay 10 here, and let's go to 20 here. Okay, now we can go ahead and start taxiing. So we are approaching our runway of 16 left. Let's prepare for takeoff. It's on the auto throttle. Now I'm pretty sure in the 767-3 under the ER it should say EPR instead of THR, but maybe I'm wrong. Alright. And we're traffic tracking off on the wrong runway again. But now it's our turn. Alright, so let's start the clock. Everything else looks fine here. Alright. Now add some throttle. Let it stabilize. And takeoff thrust is set. There's a slight slope in the runway. Let's keep the nose down until 80 knots. And we want rotate.
Don't sink.
I'm not sinking. Positive rate gear up. And let's climb with 15 degrees pitch. Oops. It's a little bit steep. Alright. Now we can slowly engage the autopilot on a VNAV, and center is flying today. So auto brakes are already disengaged. And retract the flaps. Alright, so we are on the way to Anchorage, Alaska. Now, I think these winter textures look pretty nice. Now it's the default scenery. Maybe next time I will download the HD mesh. The only issue I have, at low altitudes we can see these smaller roads. It's funny looking. But other than that, it's pretty amazing. I like it really much. Alright, so we're back and we are approaching Anchorage Airport here in Alaska. So I have almost everything set up for our landing. Auto brakes are set to 2. Here our speed is going to be 132 with flaps 30. ILS, frequency and course are already laid in. And other than that, there's not much left to do. Now this aircraft, in the previous version I had difficulties getting it down to the correct altitude in time. On autopilot it was really difficult. In the extended version it handles really well, although there's a bit of fine-tuning still required just to get it down on the correct altitude. Right now we're a bit too high, but at gale we need to be at 12,000 feet. I think we're going to 12,575, so that's not going to be an issue. The altimeter is 2984. It's on the standby altimeter as well. Here, I'm not going to bother with the co-pilot right now. Looks really nice here at Wintery, Alaska. No, I don't know if it's a real flight, but Seattle and Anchorage seemed like a good spot to fly the 767. We have 300 ER, it's capable of a much longer journey. And for some reason there is no indication that the speed brakes are armed, but it's in the armed position, so hopefully they're going to deploy when we are touching down. Now this approach looks a little bit weird, but trust me, it's going to work. So here is Ted Stevens Airport in Anchorage, directly ahead of us. All we need to do is fly all the way here, make a turn, intercept the glide slope and land on runway 07 right. It's a beautiful weather, wind is calm. I took a little bit more time to get here. We had about 90 to 100 knots of headwind, and also used a little bit more fuel for that reason, but we still have enough to safely execute the approach. Alright, so once we make our turn, we're going to extend the landing gears, deploy flaps all the way to 30 and slow us down to 132. Now I hope the speed brakes are armed. Before that I got a warning message that the speed brakes are extended. It's slightly below the armed position, but it worked last time I did this, so I'm confident. Alright, so we are lined up. Localizer is alive. Let's go ahead and extend landing gear. Now, this new version of Xplane has received some new effects. It looks fantastic. For example, the exhaust heat blur is new. So, actually we can go ahead and arm the approach. So, auto brakes are set to 2,000 above. Speed brakes are armed, hopefully. Let's go ahead and extend flaps all the way to 30 and go to 145 for now. Don't have yet the runway in sight, but we are on our way. There's no wind, and there is the runway right up ahead. At 1,600 feet, we're going to intercept the ILS glide slope. Let's go to 140 and 132. Going to be our approach speed, and we have the runway clearly in our sights. And glide slope is alive. Sure, let's set the missed approach altitude of 2,500. And 132. And disengage the autopilot. Continue.
Terrain.
I think Lufthansa calls out continue, and instead of V1 they say
100.
always go speed, or just go.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 10.
And reverse green. And accelerate. 80 knots. Stow the reversers. Now, unfortunately, we don't have the brake to vacate system, which the new Airbuses do, the A380 for example. Now basically the brake to vacate system on the Airbus A380 for example, there's a function where you set the auto brakes. There's BTV, and basically the pilot just sets in the computer which taxiway he wants to exit, and the computer is going to apply brakes in order to slow the aircraft down and exit the desired taxiway. And it's much smoother than normal braking. That was kind of a long landing, but we had the runway distance to do it. Alright, so here we are at Anchorage at our gate. So, thank you for watching. As usual, hope you guys liked it. And more to come in the future. So, see you then. Bye.